Despite telling myself that I would not be buying any more modern toys, I just bought some more modern toys, which begs the question, is collecting a form of illness? Because I have no control over this compulsion. So stay tuned to find out my thoughts on whether or not collecting is an illness, and we'll get these toys unboxed and take a look at them. Welcome back. Now, having told myself that was it, no more modern toys, well, what do we have here? We have more modern toys. Now, on a recent trip to Target, these two things caught my eye, and being the sucker I am, I simply could not say no. So we have from a company I've never heard of. This is from Greenlight. This is the Ateam 1983 GMC Vandura. Or if you're from the UK, and I am, I should be saying Vandura. Anyway, it's a die-cast Ateam van, very heavy box, and upon seeing this I thought, well, that's rather nice, let's take that home with us. And from Jada, who you know, I am a big fan of Jada, I have a number of their items. This is an absolutely massive G1 Optimus Prime in truck form. It doesn't actually transform. But what is it with collecting that makes us buy stuff we don't need and have a really hard time passing on things? Because like I said, I don't need either of these in my collection. I am 99.9% vintage only, and yet these jumped out at me, had to have them, and here we are, scratching my head, why did I do this? I don't know what's going on with my mindset. I told myself, since coming back from Thailand, you have to trim your collection because we have to ship it overseas. I don't need to be bringing more stuff in. If anything, I need to be letting stuff go. But I brought more stuff back home, and this is some pretty big stuff. We'll get these opened up shortly, give them a quick review. But I need to know, what do you think? Do you think collecting toys is a form of mental illness? To me it is, because I should have said there and then in Target, they're nice, but I don't need them. But no, they went straight into the shopping cart. I checked out, brought them home, and I thought to myself, why did I do that? But with that said, they are pretty cool. But let me know, what do you think? Do you consider yourself somewhat mentally deficient because you can't say no? Hands up, I am. I have a real problem saying no, as is evident by the fact that these sit here in front of me. But with all that out the way, let's take a quick look at these and tell you if they are worth getting, because if you are a fan of the A-Team or G1 Transformers, I imagine it would be rather hard for you to say no to these as well. So let's take a look at this A-Team van from Greenlight Hollywood, which is a company I have never heard of, and I must confess, prior to getting this home with me, I just assumed it was also from Jada, but no, it's Greenlight. Never heard of them, but the packaging does look cool from the front, and it does say it's the Ateam 1983 GMC Vandura, or Vandura, depending on where you're from. And it's a really nice representation, and it does say limited edition 1/24th scale. Now, the back is rather cool. It's somewhat reminiscent of those old Galoob toys where they have put the bullet holes, although they're not actually holes on this, and it tells us, Murdoch, I'm nuts, that's why I'm so good. Hannibal, I love it when a plan comes together. Face says, it's the singer, not the song. And BA says, I ain't going on no plane. So they've obviously done their homework on this, and they've got a helicopter sort of drawn there on the background as well. Interestingly enough, there is no tape on this either side, so that's quite unusual in this day and age. But I don't know who would be going into Target and opening this and pocketing the van. It's a pretty big item, so I guess they're not that bothered about theft. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's get this opened up and we'll give it a quick look. If I can get the damn thing out. Okay, here, that was pretty easy. So, Not that you would be using this, but I guess if you were so inclined, you could use this cardboard as a form of backdrop. But these, I guess, move out the way. And do we just lift this? Yes, we do. Ah, so this is completely separate to everything. Move that to the side. Decent enough weight. Although that's definitely plastic. So it's a, I guess the lower part is die cast and the top, yeah, it's plastic. But the detailing is pretty nice actually. Do the doors open? Oh yeah, the doors open indeed. Both open, and the cabin is reasonably well decorated. Even got the foot pedals there. Now, does the back open at all? I don't believe so. But all in all, it's a really nice looking GMC van. And does it roll well? Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Now, cost, I don't actually remember. I can give you a ballpark figure. Both were definitely, I think, under 25. 19.99 rings a bell for one of them. I'm assuming it might have been this one, but not overly expensive in this day and age. But for a display piece as part of an Ateam collection, you can't go wrong with this. Now, as some of you may know, having watched my videos from Thailand, or maybe I only shared this privately, but Playmobil is for sale in Thailand, most notably in Toys R Us. And I picked up the Ateam van with a view to buying it, but the price they were charging when converted to US dollars was coming out to about $140, which I could not justify. So that went right back on the shelf. So this is a pretty good substitute as far as I'm concerned. Plus it takes up way less space on a shelf. Yeah, do I recommend this? Absolutely. I'll maybe take a look to see what other franchises Greenlight Hollywood has to offer, but all in all, this is something I am rather pleased with. So now on to Optimus Prime from Jada Toys, and I've got to be honest, it was the packaging that sucked me right in. Now there are tons of modern Transformers on the shelves these days, none of which I give a second glance to, but seeing this classic 80s style packaging really drew my attention and made me want it even more. Now it says here you can see the robot on the chassis, and they're referring to the fact that on the base plate there is a rather nice coloured sculpture of Optimus Prime in robot mode or Autobot mode on the base of the truck. And that does kind of remind me of how Corgi put Batman on the base plate of the classic Corgi Batmobile. Now even on the back they've included a little bit, I mean it's very small, but it is classic 1980s Transformers artwork. I do like that. This is quite heavy as well. Now this one is taped up on all sides, so I have a knife somewhere that we will slice the tape and get into this. And as I'm sure you're wondering, yes, I will be comparing this side by side to a G1 original. So if we can just get this out. In fact, I bet you this has been bolted down, as Jada tend to do with their sort of larger scale toys, which could be frustrating for the purposes of this video, but we'll see how we get on. This is all filmed on the fly. I'm sure you know that already, so if things go wrong, just bear with me, eh? In fact, when we come back, we will have Optimus Prime out, ready for a quick review. As I suspected, a screwdriver was required to remove Optimus from his packaging, so just bear that in mind should you get one for yourself. Now my first impressions are, it's rather nice, but upon holding it, I realised that whilst the cab is die cast, the rest of it is plastic, and it does feel somewhat flimsy, so I would not recommend giving this to a child to play with. Now the box states it's for 8 years old and up, but I think a 10-year-old, 12-year-old would have this broken within minutes. Some of it is very fragile feeling, especially these sort of wheel arches don't feel at all sturdy, and they're that sort of quite brittle plastic. The smokestacks, they feel strong enough, but I wouldn't, you know, twist them too much. and these chrome elements are hanging on by the skin of their teeth, so it's definitely display only. Now, upon opening it, I realized there was some sellotape holding the doors shut, so I took the tape off, but to my astonishment, whilst the doors open, they don't really open that far, and I think this was a complete pointless exercise. I don't know why they've done that. There's a chromed steering wheel, and that's about all you can really see. As you can see here, the doors are barely opened, and they're sort of very loose and flappy, so pointless of Jada to have done that. But for display purposes, it does look nice. Now, how does it stack up against a G1 original? Well, as you can see right here, it absolutely towers over the original, and whilst it's absolutely a G1 Optimus Prime, there's way more detailing on this than Hasbro ever gave us on the originals, which is to be expected. Whilst it's not an exact upscaled replica of the G1, it's close enough that anyone looking at a collection containing this will realize straight away, ah, that's a big G1 Optimus Prime, and for the purposes of my collection, that's what I wanted. On the bottom, we have Optimus Prime. That looks pretty cool, although they've done his legs in sort of black plastic. They could have gone a little bit further and made them more accurate looking, I guess. But for a toy that in this day and age isn't that expensive, I mean, again, I don't know the exact price, but I'm guessing probably similar to a Black Series figure. So all in all, this is far better value for money. And once it's up there on display, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So there you go. This is Jada Toys' massive G1 Optimus Prime. So that was a look at some modern toys I really didn't need to have, but I'm glad I have them. They are pretty cool. They will be nice in my collection. So please do let me know in the comments, not only what do you think of my theory that being a collector is a form of illness, but also what do you think of these? As I said, I'm happy to have them. Not overly expensive in this day and age, and definitely something that deserves to be featured on a channel called All Things 80s, because these are a couple of really nice 80s throwbacks. So in closing, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, just click that thumb up, it's really easy. Share the video if you can, make sure you're subscribed, and stay tuned for more videos from All Things 80s.